similar to sport, at times you're going to doubt whether you're capable of doing the things that you want to do. In the same way with finances, you can really try to lean on your support system and people that have those credentials that can really empower you.
We're here with three-time Olympian Keturah Orji speaking about financial literacy. Keturah, tell us about yourself and your background.
Yes, my name is Keturah Orji, and I'm a three-time Olympian. I went to Rio, Tokyo, and Paris. I have a degree in financial planning from the University of Georgia, very interested in financial literacy. I've broken the American record in the triple jump over 4 times. Before Paris, I was the highest finished by an American woman at the Olympics, and I'm also the only American woman that has finished an Olympic final, top 12 3 times. So,
what a biography.
Yes.
Congratulations on all of your accomplishments.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking about your accomplishments, and there's a lot of discipline that goes into that. Breaking the records, participating in the Olympics. What are the commonalities between the discipline you bring training for the Olympics and the discipline people must bring for their finances?
Yeah, I feel like it's just about consistency and also delayed gratification. So consistency with finances, you have to continue to save and invest for a long time to really reach that goal that you have for retirement or to buy something big. And in the same way with training, you have to consistently train, and you're not going to see the results right away. You have to be patient with it and diligent and just continue to work at it until you accomplish that goal. And sometimes you're not able to accomplish the goal, but you continue to progress through that.
You've participated in 3 Olympics. As you're well aware, careers in athletics are not as long as a typical career. How does that influence how you think about your finances, and how does it influence the way other athletes should think about their finances?
Yeah, I would say for me, I was able to earn a lot more money at a younger age than I typically would have been able to if I maybe got right into the financial field or any other field. I was able to get a contract with Mizuno and Atlanta Track Club, and then from there go and compete for prize money, sometimes winning up to $10,000 at one competition. And so I think at an early age, knowing that I was making so much money and also understood finances, I was able to invest a lot. And we all understand the power of compounding. So me only being 28 right now, but being able to invest so much, I know that that will be able to grow to so much in the future.
Yeah, and there's a lot of education that comes into having this knowledge that you just described. And you're a big proponent of financial literacy. What is it about financial literacy that is so important to you?
Yeah, so when I went to the University of Georgia, I would say I probably only knew about saving. I didn't really know anything else, and I feel like a lot of young people that's similar. No one really teaches us like what you should do with your money, especially when you're young. You don't have any money to really manage. And so I remember when I found the financial planning career path, I saw the different topics I would be studying, and I was like, this is really interesting to me. And that's when I was interested in retirement planning. I was introduced into investments, introduced into estate planning, a lot of things I had never heard of, and I always thought of like, oh, you just save all your money up and then eventually you can buy things. But really, again, learning about the power of compounding and being able to invest your money and earn money on top of money, it really was amazing to me, and I feel like that's what impacted me, and I wanted everyone to know. So I remember my peers started asking me questions, wanted help, and even something as simple as a high yield savings account was like such a big deal to the people around me. And that's when I knew that the knowledge I was acquiring was really powerful, and especially for women and other people of color who don't have access to that information, I just wanted to be a trusted resource for them and someone that they feel like they could connect with and relate to.
Yeah, absolutely. You speak very highly of the educational journey and all the different knowledge that it unlocked for you. Who are your financial influences?
Yeah, I think that's a hard question, just because growing up, again, I said I didn't really have a lot of people around me, but as I've continued to acquire knowledge, I would say Morgan Housel, who wrote Psychology of Money, has been someone that I really look up to. I just love his book and about really appreciating and understanding when enough is enough and not being too greedy about like, I want to chase more, but it's like being content with the things that you have and not always wanting the next new thing and looking at comparing yourself to the Joneses and what else do I want to buy. But then also really thinking about how money gives you freedom. It gives you the ability to make choices and decide, I want to work at this time with these people at this many hours. I want to take a vacation at this time with this people for this cost. It just gives you freedom of choice. And so money is really a powerful tool, but you also don't want it to begin to run you and control the way you move about in your life.
What are the top things that people should look for in financial education?
I think one of the most important things is looking for someone with credentials. If you're looking to work with someone, or if you're seeing videos on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, really pay attention to the credentials this person has, and also pay attention to if they're benefiting from the information they're trying to give you. If they are going to get some type of commission by selling something to you or offering this class or course, just beware of the information they're giving to you, because it's a conflict of interest. And I'm seeing that a lot of times on social media. And it's just upsetting me a little bit, because it does really influence people that don't know anything about this topic, and they feel like they should maybe make decisions that might not be the wisest because of the things that people are just blatantly saying on social media.
Yeah. Generational wealth is a big topic that comes up. How should people that don't come from generational wealth think about building that for themselves and for their families?
I would say the number one thing is just patience, like we talked about. With generational wealth, it's very rare that you're able to accumulate that in a short time. It's going to take consistency, building up habits of saving and delayed gratification, and really just starting early. I think that's one thing that we don't always hear about. Sometimes you think about, like, oh, when I have a family and I have my big job, that's when I'll start saving. But really the most impactful money that you can invest is when you are young. So if you're in your early 20s, the best day to start is today, so that you can go ahead and get that power of all that time and money building up on itself. For
someone that's in their early 20s, that's starting and thinking about investing, what tips do you have for them?
Yeah, my number one tip is to Google robo-advisors. To me, that changed my life. I remember being introduced to investing in school, and it seemed very overwhelming. I didn't know where to start, and I also think it's important to just start. So, like, you're gonna be afraid, you're gonna be nervous, but you just have to take the first step, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start there. So I really just encourage you to move forward past that fear and still try to take that first step.
Do you see any common financial mistakes that people make?
I would say credit card debt. Again, keeping up with the Joneses, wanting the next thing. We're on social media, we're seeing this new product, ads are in our face all the time. You just want to buy, 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 and credit cards allow you to do that, and then you don't realize how it can compile and build on each other. The same way that investing can build up, credit card debt can build up in the same way. The power of money works, power of compounding works both ways. And so really just trying to be in control of your spending and think about what brings you value. I think research shows that experiences are what bring us the most value over things. Like, you buy a thing, you feel good, and then 2 days later you're ready to buy the next thing again. So really focusing on purchasing experiences. And the last thing I would say is, again, starting to invest early. A lot of people, they're waiting till their 30s or 40s to invest, and it's hard to catch up and meet your retirement goals when you start late. So just go ahead and start early, especially if you have 401k match or something available at your job.
How do you approach talking to your friends and family about finances?
I would say friends and family is probably the hardest, just because they've known you since you were young. They may not see all of the progression you've made, all the knowledge you've gained. But I would say just starting out with where they are. So if they come to you asking questions, just answering their questions, maybe presenting some new information to them, giving them resources. Because sometimes they may not listen to you, but if you send them an article, send them a YouTube video or something, they may listen to that person. And so just starting with where they're at and seeing what they're curious about, being open to listening to them. And if they want your advice, give it to them. But if not, tell them that you're always open to helping them out when they need to.
You mentioned financial freedom. How have the decisions that you've made allowed you to get closer to realizing that financial freedom?
Yeah, so going back to track and field, just being able to really earn a higher income than in another field at an early age, I would say that's helped me to get ahead of investing. I've really just been throwing a bunch of money into the stock market because I know that the more I put in, the earlier I can retire, and that gives me choice to decide what I want to do. I'm even considering maybe continuing to work part-time and just continue to volunteer within financial literacy and continue financial coaching, just kind of giving myself the flexibility to know that I have choices and I don't have to work a 9 to 5 because of the job I've been able to have to start out my career with. So just the flexibility.
You spoke about consistency. Are there any other financial principles that have really impacted the way you think about your finances?
Yeah, I would say automating as much as I can has really changed everything. So the paycheck comes in, maybe you have automatically $500 goes to savings, $500 goes to investments, and then you know you can spend the rest that's left in your account. I think that budgeting can sometimes be a hard thing for people to especially keep up with and consistently do. When everything's automated, you know that you can spend the rest on that's left in your account. Or even if you know my budget's $1,500, so on my credit card every month I can put $1,500 on it, and the rest I'll pay it off at the end and complete it in full. So taking decisions out of everything as much as you can, taking out behavioral aspects, and just trying to make everything as robotic as it can be.
You spoke about the importance of financial literacy for women of color. What do you think is missing for women of color in finance?
I would say inclusion and just representation. And so when you look at the financial planning or financial landscape as a whole, predominantly you'll see white men. And so I think sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable for women of color and people that need help to, first of all, trust those people and also feel like they belong in those spaces. And so as we continue to get more financial planners, financial advisors that look like me, that are women and also people of color, I think the people that need help are more willing to ask for that help and feel trusted and seen in those spaces.
In the track and field space, you have a bit of a reputation. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so everyone that's around me whenever I'm competing kind of knows that I have the degree in financial planning, that I love managing money, helping people, educating people, empowering people. And so whenever someone has a question, they know that they can come to me or they know to send someone to Keturah, and that like she has the financial coaching business, but also if you just have questions, she'll answer that question.
You have so much confidence in the decision that you're making. What would you say for people that are looking to gain more confidence as they're making these decisions?
Yeah, so similar to sport, at times you're going to doubt whether you're capable of doing the things that you want to do, whether the training was worth it. And you just have to remind yourself of how much effort you've put into this, how much work you've put into it, maybe even revisit with my coach and go over the things that we've been focusing on so that in that moment I feel prepared and can execute what I want. And in the same way with finances, you can really try to lean on your support system and people that have those credentials that can really empower you and educate you on what it is that you want to do and remind yourself of why you're doing what you're doing. You have certain goals that you want to achieve, and really just staying the course and knowing that it will come together in the end is the way to really just start and build from there.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about that support system. If somebody's starting out and they're looking to build their support system, what's the first step?
Yeah, I would say, again, reaching out to friends. I would say it's very uncommon. Sometimes people talk about money, it seems taboo. But reaching out to friends and say, hey, have you ever invested? What do you typically do? Reaching out to parents, family members, there has to be someone around you that's doing this. It's just that they're not talking about it. So being open and comfortable with asking questions to people and then learning from them, and then from there doing research, because there's so much available online.